Well,
Hey toy fans, Aaron here. Tonight, going to take a look at the Target exclusive, I guess you could refer to it as a Return of the Jedi 3-pack, but really all it says is the Emperor, Luke Skywalker, and the Royal Guard. But otherwise, this was released in November 2017, somewhere around there, November, December, and retailed for about $25. So let's head to the table and check this one out. And a quick look at the packaging. I gotta say, I really like the looks of this thing. Now, this was released with the Last Jedi branding of the line, so that got you the red Star Wars logo on the top, with the three heroes off to the right side, being Poe, Rey, and Finn. Through the window of the packaging, of course, you get a good look at the three figures included, set against the backdrop of the Emperor's throne room. And then down along the right side, you got your photograph or your artwork of the Emperor, the Royal Guard, and Luke Skywalker. Really like the looks of that green lightsaber running along the edge there. Left side of the packaging, basically just your Force Link advertisement. And then on the right side, nothing really here, just a continuation of that artwork from the front. On the back side of the packaging, it's basically just a big advertisement for the Force Link. You see your three figures, and it's just showing you that each one is indeed Force Link enabled. And taking a look at each figure individually, I'll start off with Luke Skywalker. And in case you're wondering, this is indeed the same Luke Skywalker figure that we got on the single-carded release of the Solo line, except that one's going to be Force Link 2 enabled. So you'd need the Force Link 2 reader to hear those sounds. Or actually, you'd need to wait for an update from Hasbro, because I just ran the update on mine. It's at 2.4, and it still isn't working, but others have had luck. But anyways, not really worrying about that one right now. This is Force Link 1, and it works just fine. As far as the sculpt goes, the looks of the figure and stuff, gotta say, I'm not really feeling the stance all that much. I don't mind that his leg is sticking out, but I don't know, something about the way the main body is sitting just feels a little awkward to me. And in looking at the head area, I think there is really a good looking sculpt going on here. Looks fairly representative of Luke Skywalker, except that I'm not feeling the paint job on that hair. Why does he have red hair? As far as that painting to the hair area though, even though it's red, it's still, nicely painted. It sits within the lines of the hairline and stuff, so no problems with that. Eyes are painted in pretty nicely. Getting to the midsection of the figure, things here, like I said, they're looking pretty good. His outfit is pretty well sculpted with that little, I don't know what you would call that little front piece that does eventually fold down in the movie where, it shows a little bit of gray. This has it all stitched up, so no gray here, but still very well represented. Otherwise, just lots of wrinkles and stuff sculpted in. Down at the hand area for his right hand, of course, you got the black for the black glove that he wears. Otherwise, the only thing I really have to say in this area is it feels so small to me. The hands just keep getting smaller and smaller on these figures, it seems like. Through the waist area, you got a nice shiny black belt painted in. Little bits of silver in there for some grommet detailing and whatnot. And then just on the thigh, for whatever reason, they even painted in, it looks like the little hook for his lightsaber. The painting on that silver, though, is a little bit off the mark on mine. Your mileage will probably vary on your figure. And as figure spins around on the backside, you can see he's got a larger pouch on that belt area. And then get into the rest of the figure, lower half, it's black pants, so you're getting what you expect to see. And then for the boots, of course, they're shiny black boots that he's got on. So overall, figure's looking pretty good, minus that red hair. As far as articulation, that head's on a ball joint, so you're going to get your swivel, your 360 there. Nothing really side to side, and gosh, not even anything up and down, so I guess it's a little bit limited there. Shoulder area, you get your 360 degree movement. At the wrist area, surprisingly, they're both going to swivel around 360 degrees. And your legs pretty much come straight out and even bend back this far. Luke does come with one single accessory, and that is, as you'd expect to see, his green lightsaber. I've got it against this white backdrop, so it kind of helped that green pop out a little more. I think it's still a little bit washed out with all my lights, but it is a good green color to it. And as far as the hilt, it's exactly as you would expect to see Return of the Jedi Luke's lightsaber looking like. Great sculpting to it, and for the most part, pretty good paint job. Little bit of gold right there at the end of the hilt. Some black on this middle section painted around. Unfortunately on mine, just a little bit of silver gap there for whatever reason. And then bottom half of that handle is all silver. And here's your basic sounds for Luke Skywalker.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me. I'll never turn to the dark side. I have to face him.
Sliding them get you your battle noises. And then during that battle action part, you get some additional lines of dialogue.
I warn you not to underestimate my powers. This is your last chance.
Sounds aren't too bad, I gotta say. I think this might be a voice actor, but kind of hard to tell. It almost sounds like it's right from the movie. Either way, it does sound pretty good to me. Next up, Emperor Palpatine. This is a fantastic figure, and in my mind, I think this might be the best 3 3/4 inch figure that they've released of the Emperor. I really like the texturing that they achieved within the sculpt of his robes. That hood area drapes around nicely over the head. You got a little bit of draping going down on the back area as well from the hood. I like the way the sleeves have that nice long drape to it. Sits nicely just at the base of the figure too, with some additional wrinkles in there. And this outer shell of the robe that he's got over his head and down along his body, I mean, technically you could remove it. You have to pop the arms off and then it just looks weird, but that piece is separately sculpted and then attached on. Inside that hood, looking at the head sculpt, I think we have a great representation of Emperor Palpatine here. I like the skin tone that they're using. You got a little bit of brown painted in around the eye area to help that sink in more. And then what looks like a little bit of red painted in at the eye area as well. Otherwise, through the midsection of the figure where you see those inner robes, that is all just sculpted plastic, of course, but still I think there is a really nice sculpt going on with that. Through that waist area, you can see a little belt tied in there, which drapes down running along the front of the figure. Otherwise, hand area, things are looking pretty good. That right hand is sculpted to hold his cane, and then that left hand just kind of dangling down there. And then just to pop this off the turntable real quick to show that inside his inner robes that he has, you can see he does have fully sculpted legs and some boots sculpted in there. So, you know, nice little attention to detail. You're probably never ever going to see those when you've got them sitting on the table or something, but it's nice that they did that. As far as the Emperor's articulation, you're able to spin that head around. If you didn't have the robes on it, it actually would go full 360 within there, and you get just an ever so slight up and down movement. Kind of hard to show with my big thumb in the way, but you get some range of movement there. The wrist area, well, of course, since you can pop them out, you get a full 360-degree rotation at the hands. And as far as the legs, you're able to bring those straight out, and then you're not really bending those legs backwards. And then this Emperor does come with a couple accessories. First up, his cane. Man, I gotta say, the sculpting to this cane is looking great also. Very representative of how the cane should look, all, you know, kind of warped looking and stuff. Nice glossy black paint job to it, and it's a pretty good length to that cane also. It sits in his hand nicely and still manages to touch the floor. Otherwise, these hands, both of these wrists, they do pop out, and you're able to attach on his Force Lightning hands. Great addition here. I've seen this done a few different ways, and I think it's great that in this case we've got the option of swapping the hands out. As far as the sculpting of it goes, I mean, the hands themselves look just fine, and then it transitions with a little bit of purple there, and then out to these blue plastic pieces. Decent length to these, and the figure's not going to fall over or anything from the weight of them or anything like that. So, nice little addition to have here with the set. And as far as the Force Link sounds for the Emperor,
bring him before me. Wipe them out. All of them.
And sliding them forward.
Your evil skills are no match for the power of the dark side. If you will not be turned, you will be destroyed.
So overall, not too bad. I do think these are taken directly from the movie. I gotta say, I'm a little surprised to hear an episode 1 line delivered within that pattern there. And now on to the final figure, and that's the Royal Guard. You know, another really good looking figure here. This figure's been done a few different ways. You know, back in the Power of the Force line, it was just a solid chunk of plastic underneath. And in this case, what we got really is a fully decked out figure. The helmet area is sculpted exactly how you would expect the Emperor's Royal Guard to look. Love the red color to it. That black along the visor is painted in quite nicely. And as far as the robes, it's got a very nice drape down along the body, giving you a little slit to let that arm show where he can hold his force pike. Nice red color overall. So things are looking good here. And now if you want, you can pop the head off the figure. The helmet and the robes, they're all attached as one piece. And what that reveals is going to be a fully sculpted body underneath. Unlike the Episode 3 release of the Emperor's Royal Guard, you don't have any special paint applications underneath these robes on this figure. It's just your base burgundy color. Pretty okay with that myself, since the overall look of the figure for me is with the robes on, getting a little bit of that arm sticking out. So I'm fine with it, but maybe if you're a customizer or something, you got a little leeway here. Do some of your own painting. You're just going to have to find a head that's going to fit on this ball joint. You know, for example, and I already tried, you can't take Luke Skywalker's head and stick it on this figure because the ball joint is not the same size. Maybe there's some figures out there with a larger ball joint sculpted in on the head where you'd be able to attach. But otherwise, at least what you got is a strong base for a body. That sculpting looks just like what we got with the 6-inch line. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, since for the most part you're not going to see it when you've got it all decked out with the robes on and stuff. But as you can see, it's a base burgundy color. No special painting or anything like that. So once again, if you're a customizer, I think you got a good starting point. I don't know, I don't customize, but that seems like you would have a good starting point. But yeah, through that chest area, you got some armor sculpted on there. Over the shoulder, also, you got some armor pieces sculpted on. And through the belt area, you can see he's got some pouches sculpted in on that belt. And lower half of the figure, at least through the front area of the thighs and around the kneecaps and stuff, he's got some more armor sculpted in there. So a great looking Royal Guard figure. And I think this one is coming out soon on the Solo Force Link 2 line. And I believe it'll be the same version. As far as articulation, even though this head and robes are on a ball joint, I mean, you got some minor turning, really hard to show, but because these robes are so molded over the shoulder area, it just not much worth talking about is really going to happen here. At the arm area, of course, you got the slits in the robes, so you're going to be able to bring his arm out, and this other arm could come out too. Of course, if you didn't have the robes on, then you get your full 360 range. And then for the legs, you know, you can bring them out about so far before the robes get in the way, and then they're going to go back just a tiny bit, but, you know, you still get what you need. He's going to stand up just fine with the length of the robes anyways. As far as accessories for the Guard, well, he comes with his Force Pike staff, and that's what you'd expect the Royal Guard to have. Sculpting to this is looking pretty good. I feel like it's a little bit thick down at the handle area. This doesn't seem like that long, thin staff that I'm used to seeing, but it still fits quite nicely in his hand. Overall, what little detailing you have to it is looking pretty good. You know, the shape down at the handle area looks like it should. And you just got some round little bits sculpted in here at the middle area and also at the tip of the staff. And Force Link sounds for the Royal Guard. And sliding that forward. So getting some whooshing sounds and some sort of vibrating action, probably his Force Pike, but I'm not getting anything else additional beyond that when I tap it during the battle action part. So overall, the sounds aren't too bad. I mean, it makes sense that we're not getting dialogue. We didn't hear him talk in the movie, so why would we hear the toy? Otherwise, for the sound effects, for the most part, they sound like most, or if not all of them, are the same as what we got for the Praetorian Guards. So overall, this is a really good set of figures. I gotta say, to me, it's a little curious that they included a Royal Guard instead of Darth Vader. But hey, I'm not going to really complain all that much because we got a great Royal Guard figure out of the set. I wish Luke didn't have red hair, and that Emperor figure is just fantastic looking. And just to note, if you wanted to, you could slide that backdrop out of the packaging and keep it as a little diorama piece for these figures. And that wraps up this look at the Target exclusive 3-pack. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on these figures in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.